So she's earned her way into the starting lineup, and no Maddie Kroll as well, so Kendall Moriarty gets more playing time as well.
Markowski wins the tip against Dixon, and we are underway. The 2023-2024 season, Nebraska 18-15 last year. They start with the basketball. Potts with it on the right wing, now to White. White back to Potts on the pick and roll, and she finishes.
It's a great look from White, getting Potts integrated early. Really confident freshman. Expect a lot out of her today, and obviously Darian White, the grad transfer, as you highlighted, was off to a phenomenal start in that exhibition. The Huskers expect a lot of her this year.
Here's Ayers, the team's leading three-point shooter a year ago. Gives to Miljanik. Miljanik working against Potts, has it poked out by Shelley. The steal leading to some transition offense for Nebraska. Moriarty, her three-pointer off the heel. And the rebound down to Ayers.
You said it in the open, you can already feel the energy in this building with all the middle schoolers in attendance, and now all your regular fans have filed in. This has the feel of a big game, and it is the opener, so a lot of energy naturally from both of these teams.
Rounding out for Woodson on about the 12-footer. Markowski the rebound. Shelley crosses over, flips it back to Markowski. Her three-pointer, no, it's short. And Solea the rebound.
It's a good look. Just wasn't able to get it to go. Markowski left it short, but she's one of many Huskers who play in the post that can shoot the three effectively.
Here's Woodson now, gives back to Ayers. 35.7% from three-point line last year. She turns it over. Another one here in the early going, leading to a Jazz Shelley bucket, and Nebraska leads by 4.
That's what Jazz Shelley does. Averaged over 14 points a game last year. Is now 102 points shy of 1,000 for her Nebraska career.
Ayers with it. Back to Miljanik. Kicks it up top to Solea. Working in on the block against Shelley. Goes back out to Miljanik, and we have whistles and a travel. Turnovers, the early question mark here for Northwestern State. This is the team that was one of only 4 teams in the Southland Conference a year ago to finish with a positive turnover ratio. Forced 498, only turned it over 497 times, so just barely positive as there's a quick little elbow jumper from White to stretch Nebraska's lead to 6-0.
You see the pressure immediately from Nebraska. Foot down on the gas pedal from the get-go here, trying to create some more of that turnover havoc that we've seen so much of already.
Solea, she's double-teamed. That's a tough spot to pick up her dribble. Nice cut there by Woodson, but she misses badly, and White brings in the rebound for Nebraska. White trying to take it herself, and she's fouled. Woodson will be the guilty party.
Well, Nebraska's completely controlling the pace of this game right now. They're speeding up Northwestern State to a pace that they can't really control. You've seen some wild shots, and obviously the turnovers have been a huge storyline already in this game just a couple minutes in. And you see Nebraska able to capitalize, working quickly on offense, and then immediately going into that full court pressure. It's really sped up the Lady Demons here early.
White, 2 points, a rebound, and an assist in the first 3 minutes. She rolls in the first free throw. Really excellent exhibition for White. 13 points, 7 rebounds, 8 assists, and 4 steals. She goes 2 for 2 at the charity stripe.
Very similar start here today that Nebraska had in their exhibition last Sunday.
Near turnover forced, we have a jump ball. Potts wasn't able to get her hands in there fast enough. And so far, Nebraska's been able to double team and work well using the sideline and half-court line once the ball crosses that mid-court stripe to create effective double teams and force turnovers. Set play looks like here for Woodson. He's the team's leading returning scorer from last season. She drives in the paint, puts up a tough shot over Potts, and it won't go.
That's a tough matchup for Woodson. The height deficit there. Potts, much taller. Good defense by the freshman.
And now Nebraska turns it over. First of the night for the Huskers, and immediately the Lady Demons give it right back. Moriarty gets a screen from Potts. Guarded at the top of the key by Ayers. She flips to Shelley, wide open in the right corner. She can't connect, but White is there for a rebound. She's in trouble. Around 4 others, she goes up and is fouled.
I mean, Nebraska is everywhere. It just seems like they're playing 10-on-5 with white jerseys, causing turnovers. Woodson heads to the bench for Northwestern State. But, again, as I said just moments ago, Nebraska completely controlling the pace of this game early. And this is kind of a rare sight, too. You line up for free throws, and Alexis Markowski's at midcourt. I mean, that's what Natalie Potts gives you in that starting lineup with more height, as well as Kendall Moriarty. She's a taller guard at 6'1". So you kind of a bigger lineup here for Nebraska, and we talked about the huge size advantage that they had last week against Dakota Wesleyan. This time around, a little bit different, but it doesn't really seem to be affecting the Huskers whatsoever.
Callan Hake checks into the game for Nebraska. For Northwestern State, Jenny Ntombwe, a 6'1" sophomore, and Carmela Dean, a 5'7" senior guard. And Ntombwe has it here. Flips it back to Dean, and Dean traveled. Another turnover here for Northwestern State. 5, and we're not even 5 minutes into this game.
We've seen a couple of those trying to take off too early travels, for lack of a better term. And again, just Northwestern State needs to slow it down. I understand it's the first game of the year. Jitters are probably a little bit high, especially against a Big Ten opponent, but they got to slow it down, and now they get a break here.
Offensive foul will go against Alexis Markowski. That is her first personal foul, and Nebraska's first personal foul here this first quarter. Huskers set up the press again. Dakota Wesleyan on Sunday last week did a good job of dealing with this. So far, Northwestern State hasn't been able to handle it very well. And you see another turnover there. 6 now for the ball game.
And you just see Milianic dribble straight into the corner. That's exactly what you cannot do against this press, because Nebraska set up so well with 3 defenders up right there in your face to set up a trap. And those boundaries in the corner act like a 3rd and 4th defender in that situation. We've seen that a couple of times from a couple of different Lady Demons, and that's a prime example.
Jordan Brown, a redshirt sophomore guard, in now for Northwestern State. Shelley with the basketball, feeds it down low to Markowski. She goes up and is fouled. The bucket is good. And that's probably a good sign if you're head coach Amy Williams, considering the struggles Alexis Markowski had from the field in the early going against Dakota Wesleyan.
Yeah, she just couldn't get anything to drop in that exhibition game, but she was getting rebounds everywhere, right? And again, that height advantage for Markowski at 6'3", the reigning, or not the reigning, but once a Big Ten Freshman of the Year in 2022. And now she's on the Lisa Leslie Award watch list for Center of the Year. She's in that field of 20 that were listed as people on that watch list. So she's a dominant center, one of the better ones in the league in the Big Ten, and she shows off right there.
12.3 points per game in 2022. She heads to the bench. In comes Annika Stewart, who scored 14 against Dakota Wesleyan. Ayers inbounds to Dean. Nebraska backs off. They're running more of a soft zone pressure here. Now they break back to man. Dean with the basketball. Working around Stewart. Fakes one way. In trouble. That pass deflected. It's deflected by Shelley and stolen by Hake. Shelley with it on the right side. Nebraska with a 13-0 run to start. Feed down low to Stewart. She has it stripped, and it's taken away. Coming the other way is Saleha. She gives to Dean. Up top, Ayers. Her first three-pointer of the ball game. No good. And Shelley the rebound for Nebraska.
Need to create more shots for Ayers. She started 29 ball games a season ago. She has that experience, and she can put the ball in the bucket, averaged just over 8 points a game last year.
Nisley was wide open on that left side. She's a new entry into this ball game for Nebraska. The freshman from Bismarck, North Dakota. 3-time North Dakota Gatorade Player of the Year. 2 times Max Preps Player of the Year in the state. Dean going to bring it up. Working against Shelley, and she just trips, loses it out of bounds, and Nebraska takes over.
I think she was more so trying to draw a foul there on Shelley too, but nothing really convincing this crew here that consists of Brad Maxey, Mark Berger, and Natasha Brown this early afternoon. But Nebraska still applying that pressure. It's a little bit softer now, but it's still proving to be effective.
Hake to the rack. She can't finish, and the rebound down to Dean, who has 3 of Northwestern State's 8 turnovers. Three-pointer from the right corner. That misses badly. Nisley the rebound. No look pass from Shelley to Hake. Her three-pointer is good. And a timeout taken by Northwestern State as Nebraska opens the first quarter of the 2020.
Nebraska wants to play fast. They are achieving that right now, and they're really speeding up the Lady Demons to a pace that, quite frankly, they look pretty uncomfortable with.
Dean with the basketball here. She gets a screen coming around to the rack, trying to finish against Stewart. Can't do it. She got her own miss and pulls it back out. Flips to Ayers in the right corner. She'll line up a three-pointer. Got it. And the Demons are on the board.
That was a tough shot, too, by Ayers. Good contest there in the corner, but she knocks it down anyway, and finally the Demons are on the board.
Stewart, she'll try to answer. Dances around the rim and falls off, and Tomboy the rebound. Ayers, last year, the only team from Northwestern State to start all 29 of the program's games. Dean, pick and roll, then Tomboy. She misses. Hake fights for the rebound. And Nebraska takes it the other way. Out to Stewart. She'll line up another three. This time she knocks it down.
He knew right from the get-go that ball was going to go down. A good find by Hake. Stewart wide open at the top of the key. Her and Markowski are a nice little 1-2 punch with her three-point shooting. Despite being those post players, it really opens up the floor offensively for Amy Williams and her squad.
Huskers up by 13. Northwestern State just searching for something offensively. Trying to fit the pick and roll back in there to Ntambwe. Knocked away.
That's back-to-back possessions where this Northwestern State team, I think, has run some pretty good sets, but the first pick and roll, they kind of rush a shot up. They don't really gather themselves, and then that time it was just defended well down low by Petrie. So I like what they're trying to do, get inside with a pick and roll action, but they just haven't been able to convert. Now another turnover.
9 now after the traveling violation by Jenny Ntambwe. So White will take it up. Back into the game, by the way, Giselle Woodson. She's guarding Darian White here at the top of the key. Down to Coley. Flip out to Nisley. She's got an open look for three and can't connect. Brown the rebound. Ayers looking for a screen. Now here comes Stewart to hedge and double team it. Brown with the basketball. To Woodson. She'll try her luck from beyond the arc. No good. White the rebound. White to Coley. Nisley gets a screen from Stewart. Head fake now to the corner. White won't pull the trigger. 10 on the shot clock here. And Nebraska will reset. Hake gets a screen. Back out to Nisley. Her three-pointer, no. And the rebound brought in by Ntambwe, and Coley's going to get hit here for an over-the-back loose ball foul.
Easily the best defensive possession thus far for Northwestern State. Got Nebraska deep into that shot clock and didn't really give up too good of an opportunity to score there, and then the foul by Coley to cap it off. So the Lady Demons there with a nice little defensive possession. Let's see if they can translate that to the offensive end, but it looks like Nebraska's getting that press together once again.
Jordan Todd in the game now. She's got it. Senior center, 6'1" from Eagle River, Alaska. With the basketball, it's Woodson, her floater, misses badly. Todd the rebound. She's fouled and will go to the line. Jordan Todd spent the majority of last season rehabbing from a preseason knee injury before playing in the final 2 games of the regular season and, of course, the conference tournament as well. Her first game of her NSU career, she comes back. She has 15 points and 15 rebounds. Played 2 seasons at the College of Southern Idaho before coming here. Makes the first free throw.
Pretty interesting note, too. She's one of 2 Alaskans on this roster, which I found pretty interesting. Michaela Pickard is the other one. And there's also 3 foreign players on this roster as well. So the recruiting base, you talk about a 500-mile radius, that is non-existent on this roster. They get them from wherever.
And those 2, Todd and Pickard, were teammates in Alaska. Nisley with it at the top of the key. 19-5, Nebraska out in front. Big early run was 16-0. And now a turnover forced here by the Demons. Woodson hands it off in the corner. Brown pulls it back out. She's hounded by Shelley. Dean is the escape outlet there.
It's fantastic defense by Nebraska. Haven't even gotten close to the three-point line in this possession.
5 on the shot clock to the corner. Dean, it's blocked. The ball is still loose on the court, and coming up with it is Stewart. Here comes Shelley. Shelley going to the rack, and it goes high off the glass and in. Shelley with 4 points. Final minute of the first quarter, transition opportunity, and that's too easy as Jenny Ntombwe gets to the rack. Big bucket there for the Demons to counter.
They finally are able to break that press effectively. It leads to a transition bucket, one that was, as you said, a pretty easy opportunity.
Shelley crosses over, puts it up again. This time she can't get it to fall. The rebound to Stewart, but it's tapped away, and pulling up with it is Todd. Both players tumble to the floor there. About a 4-second difference between shot clock and game clock. So Woodson and the Lady Demons will look to take the air out of the ball here, down by 14. Woodson sort of waving off a screen now. She'll put it where she wants it to be. She's double teamed, gives it up to Ntombwe. She'll line up a three-pointer, no. Rebound to Nisley. 3 seconds left. 2, 1. Shelley puts it up, and it's no good. So 21-7, your score at the end of one. Nebraska shooting 4.
And then the balanced attack offensively has been phenomenal for this Nebraska team. Darian White's got 6, Shelley with 4, Hake with 3, Markowski with 3, and Potts with 2. So it really hasn't been just one Husker. It's been a whole group of them getting you buckets offensively, and that full court press has been suffocating thus far through the first 10 minutes.
Trying to get it down low to Markowski is White. He's got it there. Puts up the fader, and it rolls off. Darian White the rebound. Nebraska resets. New shot clock.
It's already rebound number 5 for Darian White.
Out to Coley. Now this time it's Potts. Same block. Potts comes back to her other shoulder and finishes off glass.
It's an impressive take from a true freshman. No nerve shown there. Was able to dribble under control, turn, and score. Nice bucket for Potts.
Inside, Saleha. She missed the layup, and we have whistles and a foul. It'll be against Northwestern State.
They're going to get Jordan Todd.
Yeah. Here comes White. Had either elbow there for a screener. She gives it to Potts. Feeds down low. Here's Markowski. Bucket no good, but a foul. Another one coming here against Jordan Todd. And that'll be her second.
That picks up 2 of them in about 10 seconds. It's going to be an issue, too, down low because you're already without Madison Moles here today, who's a 6'6" sophomore, would easily be the tallest player on the floor. And then Ane Esterloa, who's also out for this Northwestern State team. She's 6'3", so you can't really afford to get into too much foul trouble down low.
First free throw in from Markowski. Shot 61% at the free throw line last year. And now we have whistles, and I think a lane violation here against Nebraska. So
I believe they're going to get Natalie Potts for it.
Now the Huskers will set up the press again. See if Northwestern State has found a way to deal with it a little bit better. They break it here. Woodson off and running. Now trying to get everyone organized. Saleha, good cut from Ayers, and then she's stripped on the way up. Coley taps it away, and then Ntombwe picks it up, but she traveled.
Again, just a really good setup for Northwestern State, and they had an opportunity, but better defense on the back end by Kendall Coley, able to poke it away a couple of times. But there have been those chances now for the Lady Demons in the past handful of possessions. Let's see if they can start to capitalize more consistently.
There is a consistent capitalization as Markowski goes up to 6 points. Good assist there from Jazz Shelley on the play. Oh, that's nearly a carry. Woodson kept her hand on top of the ball. Guarded closely here by White. Salea trying to get it fed down low to Ntabwe, who will step out and take a long two-point jumper, and she missed it a little bit long there. White to Shelley. Up top, Markowski. White uses a screen, knifes her way through the lane, and is fouled.
And she's just been getting whatever she wants so far. Splits a double team there on her way to the bucket. That's where the foul occurred. Just so fast and crafty. I mean, you understand why she was so good at Montana State. Started all 31 games a year ago. Led that team to a 20-11 record. That's exactly what Amy Williams is looking for, trying to get back into that NCAA tournament. I mean, she's a winner, and she's done it at the Division I level, and she fits perfectly now that you'll have no Allison Weiner for the entirety of the year.
7 points here for White in the first half. 5 have come at the free throw line. And she just missed her first there. Airs the rebound. White 5 of 6 at the charity stripe. We have whistles and a travel. It'll be Nebraska basketball. So now 11 turnovers for Northwestern State. Huskers get a baseline opportunity here. They'll feed it back to Shelley. We got the screen from Markowski. Not enough open space to get the three-pointer off. Skip pass to the corner. Moriarty adjusts to it. Feeds it back inside to Markowski. The bucket is good and the foul. What a play. What great ball movement there. And Markowski with the finish. So she'll go to the free throw line. Free throw up and in. Nebraska leads by 23.
Another impressive take by Markowski, and she's had a couple of those and ones now. She's having her way down low this early in the ball game.
Jazz Shelley picks up the transition foul. Ayers will inbound here on the sideline. Jasmine Dixon had to retie her shoe. She'll work down low here against Markowski. Ayers inside. Open look from three for Woodson. She can't hit it. Moriarty the rebound. Up ahead to Shelley. Back to Markowski. Her three-pointer. No, air ball. Good job there by Jasmine Dixon to alter that shot. Ayers has some space. Pulls up at the free throw line. She misses. And Markowski hauls in rebound number 3. Shelley got a screen. With the ball fake, the floater in the paint, no. Rebounded by Woodson.
That's a tough shot for Shelley. A little bit out of control, off balance. Northwestern State with a good defensive possession there. Kind of speeding up Nebraska in that sense and kind of giving them a taste of their own medicine of what they were giving to them in that first quarter.
Salea against Shelley. And another turnover. So Potts heads out. In for Nebraska comes Jessica Petrie from Gold Coast, Australia. Freshman at 6'2", continuing Nebraska's Aussie run that they've had the last few years. Hake back in there as well as Darian White gets a rest. To Moriarty. Back up top to Shelley. Shelley, she'll try a step back. Deep three, a high arcing shot falls.
As she knew it right when she let go of that thing. The step back created some space, and Jazz Shelley, well, she makes a lot of threes. She's made over 160 of them in her Husker career, and we'll probably see a lot more of that throughout this season.
Dean to the rack. She's fouled by Moriarty. And she'll go to the free throw line. Dean, 70% free throw shooter last year. Started the first 4 games of the season before an injury cost her basically about 2 months. She returned later for some limited action last year against Nichols on January 14th. First free throw up and in.
You got to cash in here if you're Northwestern State at the line. Points have been coming at a premium, and every single time you get a free opportunity at them, down 33-8, you have to knock them down.
Second free throw up and in there from Dean. Those are the first 2 points of the second quarter for Northwestern State. Hake with the basketball here on the wing. Trying to get it low down to Markowski. It's well defended. Petrie, she'll try a three. No. And Dean the rebound. Transition opportunity here for the Lady Demons. Now they'll slow things back down. Dean hands it off to Ayers. Catch and shoot three. No, that's no good. Markowski rebounds for Nebraska. Now Shelley, she's off and running. Up top to Hake. Tried to fit it through to Petrie. Petrie comes back and gets it and lays it up and in.
I don't know how that one got through, but nonetheless, what a pass from Hake. Splits 2 defenders and an easy bucket.
Ayers crosses half court with it. Almost lost the basketball there. Trying to go all the way against Petrie, and that's a tough thing to do against a 6'2 forward. Hake, a deep three off the pass from Shelley. She connects. And a whistle here. The bucket will count. And we have a push, I believe, here against Northwestern State. Nisley will come in. And we are headed to our first TV timeout of the second quarter.
Opportunity, but then all of a sudden there's a white jersey right in front of them, and I think they rush a little bit too much to try and get the ball up just as a shot attempt, and I think that's something that they need to improve on. Create better looks as well. Again, they've had some chances, but it just seems like they're going a little bit too fast. I don't know if it's a part of the environment here, it being the first game, you're playing a Big Ten team, but they just need to keep their composure, and it seems like they're just having trouble to settle into the game.
Second free throw from Petrie rolls in. Kind of an odd play there, and a big mistake from the senior Ayers to foul Petrie below the bucket on a made three-pointer. And that foul puts Nebraska into the bonus with 5 personal fouls here at Northwestern State. Step back, long two, halfway down, came back out. And Nebraska pulls down the rebound. Now it's Moriarty on the right side. Trying to fit it into Petrie down low. Hake stops and hands it back off to Markowski.
Was defended really nicely by the Lady Demons.
10 on the shot clock. 5. Hake dumps it down low, and we've got a foul. Another one here against Northwestern State. Nebraska currently in the midst of a 6-0 run.
That was like 25, 26 seconds of really good defense from Northwestern State. They were communicating on those screens really, really well. We're not allowing Nebraska to really get anything off those pick and rolls with Markowski. And then finally, Hake makes a nice move to lose her defender, and she feeds Markowski underneath, and she gets fouled.
Markowski sinks the first free throw. She's into double figures. 10 points, 5 rebounds, and 1 assist. In the exhibition against Dakota Wesleyan last Sunday, Markowski tallied 6 points, 12 rebounds, 2 assists, and 4 blocks. So she goes 2 for 2 at the line, 5 for 5 in the game. And again, with this foul, that allows Nebraska to set up its press. Inbound to
Markowski
Hardson.
already meeting her last season's average, essentially, with points, already with 11, as you said, and 5 for 5 for the charity stripe. Nebraska's been shooting it well from the free throw line.
Miljanik with the basketball here for the Lady Demons. Now to Hardison, trying to get around Hake, and she got it and won.
Now, there you go. You've had some of those opportunities, but you've been unable to finish. That time, she's able to finish through contact. Nia Hardison, and she was a scorer. I mean, 7 points a game last year, and she played 2 seasons at Southwest Mississippi Community College. She led the team in points per game there, so she knows how to score. She's just got to settle into the system.
Posted 3 different 20-point scoring efforts and reached double digits 17 times. This is the free throw there. There did the Natchitoches native. Natchitoches, Louisiana. She is the only Natchitoches, Louisiana native on the roster. And there, drawing the foul is Annika Stewart. Of course, Natchitoches, where Northwestern State is located.
It was funny when we were talking with radio voice of the Huskers, Matt Coatney, pregame. He said Natchitoches might be the most mispronounced name in sports, so I'm glad we got that squared away with him prior to coming on here.
Spelled Natchitoches. Huskers lead it by 30 with 3:34 left in the first half. Second free throw from Stewart is in, so she goes 1 of 2. Take some air out of the sails there for their Northwestern State. They're getting that and 1 from Hardison. Dean to Salea. Milonic here against Hake. Drives into the paint, spins, puts it up strong off 2 feet and can't get it to go. Coley the rebound for Nebraska.
It's another good opportunity for the Lady Demons. I mean, Milonic gets Hake on an island out there in the middle, but you just can't convert on the jumper.
There's a block, and speaking of good opportunities, here's a transition chance. Hardison, oh, and we have Hake with a foul there. Good hustle play from Hake to catch up to that, and Hardison, man, she was off quick. You feel like this team, at least so far in the first half, has been different with her out on the floor.
Yeah, it certainly has been. I mean, she's been able to make some good plays thus far here in this first half, but this is another opportunity for Northwestern State. If you really want to try and crawl back into this game, down 42-11, got to have a good set here out of the inbounds and try and get a clean shot.
Well, they give it to Hardison. She keeps her dribble underneath the basket, and Tomway with an offensive rebound saves it back into Salea, and then Coley taps it out of bounds for Nebraska. So some strong fight there on that possession from Northwestern State. Just unable to finish.
A couple of good second chance opportunities. I think the height of Nebraska is kind of intimidating this team, though, just getting off of a clean shot, because it seems like it's altering their form altogether. They're just kind of launching it at the backboard, hoping it bounces in.
Woodson into the paint, has it stripped, gets it back, but steps out of bounds.
Just another really good defensive possession from Jazz Shelley individually, too. She's been giving Giselle Woodson a really hard time here today. They've gone one-on-one a multitude of times, and, well, it's been advantage Jazz Shelley here all afternoon.
Woodson with 2 of Northwestern State's 13 turnovers. 4 of the 5 players on the floor as Stewart comes open underneath the basket and puts it up and in. 4 of the 5 players on the floor for Northwestern State have more than 1 turnover. Hardison to the rack, crosses over, pulls it back, can't get it to go over Shelley. Now Nebraska on the attack. Nisley, Stewart, her 3. No, not quite there. Nisley an offensive rebound, tried to flip it back to Moriarty, and here comes Northwestern State. Milonic down low and a foul.
A little too handsy there from Annika Stewart there. It was a great find underneath earlier from Kendall Moriarty to Annika Stewart, but just tried to back into her defender a little bit too much, and that draws the foul.
In comes Darian White for Nebraska. Tomway, the sophomore, to the line. First free throw rolls out. Northwestern State 4 of 6 at the charity stripe. Second one, up and in.
Be interesting to see in Tomway's progression as she goes through Division I basketball, as there's a nice steal there.
Ooh, tried to save it back in. Good effort from Dean.
The other way, but she was at Moberly Area Community College last year, averaged over 8 points and 5 rebounds a game. So clearly talented basketball player. She scored in double figures 12 times. It'd be interesting to see, and you mentioned it in the open, how many players can progress in this Northwestern State program, because a lot of them do transfer from those community college-like situations.
White on the left wing. Gives it to Nisley. Shelley crosses over, and Hardison ties her up. It's a jump ball. Northwestern State is the possession arrow.
Shelley did everything she could to try and lose her, but Hardison with a really nice defensive possession there on Jazz Shelley. It's one of the few times that we've really seen a Husker get tied up offensively.
Cross half court, here comes Miljanik. The right elbow against Coley. Shelley pokes it free. It's loose on the court, and we could have another jump ball here. Nebraska has the possession arrow.
Looks like Intabwe's shaken up here.
And back in comes Jordan Todd.
I didn't see what happened, but clearly in a lot of pain. And she's going to come out of this ball game.
And able to walk off under her own power, so that's obviously good to see. Crowd gives her a round of applause. So it'll be Nebraska basketball. 73 seconds left in the quarter. And Nebraska with a 32-point advantage. White fakes the handoff to Shelley, had it poked out. Woodson was in there. And Coach Nims is irate for Northwestern State.
Yeah, it looked like White got her in the face on that drive, Woodson, but there was no call, and then eventually Woodson was tagged for the foul. So I don't really blame Nims for being upset. It looked like there were a couple of free hands flying on that possession.
Officials discussing there. Natasha Brown and Brad Maxey. Now they'll bring in the third member of their crew, and Mark Berger.
It looks like they're going to.
And coming over to give it to us is Mark Berger.
So they're going to stick with a foul on Giselle Woodson. I don't think they found anything bad enough from White to overturn that call or call a flagrant foul.
First free throw from White, up and in. 75% free throw shooter a year ago at Montana State. And now 9 points, 7 at the line. 34-point lead for Nebraska as Woodson brings it up for the Lady Demons. Almost loses her balance there. Gives it to Saleha. Now Hardison trying to get around back to her right. Pull-up shot off glass on the right block, won't fall. And Annika Stewart brings it in for Nebraska.
She was actually able to square up to the basket and try and put it off the glass, but just was unable to convert. Now an offensive foul.
So White picks it up. It's her first. Nebraska has 9 as a team compared to 11 for Northwestern State. For the Huskers in the quarter, 6 fouls. Saleha with it. Trying to direct some traffic here. Gives it to the corner. Lob down low to Todd. Nisley in there helping out. And Shelley almost comes up with the steal there as it gets through to Dean. Dean, it's rejected, and now loose on the court, and coming up with it is Shelley. 17 seconds left, and Nebraska will hold for the final shot of the first half.
Bench loves the block. A couple of them reenacting it.
Shelley with 5. Now to White, 3, 2 seconds, puts a shot up, it's a prayer. Goes out of bounds with 4/10 of a second left. Nebraska retains possession. You're going to need to get something really quick here.
Try and draw up a lob play here for either Stewart or Coley would probably be my guess with the limited amount of time you have.
Shelley into Stewart. She can't get it off in time. And that'll do it for the first half. 46-12. Nebraska leads Northwestern.
Out for your record, so keep the pedal down. Keep that same pressure up because it was working for you all first half.
Northwestern State will start with the basketball as we begin quarter number 3. With it and going to the rack on the right side, coming back into a double team is Saleha. She loses the basketball, and we got a jump. And so Nebraska, although it does not go officially as a turnover, quickly regains possession of the basketball. Working here against man-to-man. Moriarty going to the rack, flips it out. It's tapped out by Solea.
Tried a little driving kick there. A little bit too much traffic for Moriarty. Was getting triple teamed by the time that she let that pass go. Good defense by Northwestern State.
Shelley gets it into White, who stops at the top of the key. Back to Shelley, who came all the way around from the other side. And the three-pointer is good. Perfect baseline out of bounds execution from Nebraska.
They love to sneak Shelley back into the field of play after that baseline inbound. We've seen it a couple times in the near corner in the first half, and now it pays off here to begin the second.
Step back J from Miljanik. Just sort of dances off the rim. Here come the Huskers yet again. Potts looking to maybe get a high-low going with Markowski. It wasn't there. Shelley, quick three, no. Potts chases down the offensive board. Working on the inside against Ayers, flips it to Moriarty. Moriarty tried to feed it back to Potts. It's deflected. Somehow Moriarty got it back. Shelley has it with 8 on the shot clock. Up top, Moriarty wide open for three, no. White chases down the board. Woodson comes up holding her nose. Now Markowski from the left corner. Her three is short, and Ayers rebounds it for Northwestern State. With it now, Woodson. 0 for 6 in that first half. Miljanik, she's double teamed. Back to Ayers. Her three-pointer air ball. And it'll be Nebraska basketball.
Yeah, just a frustrating afternoon continues for Ayers. 1 of 6 now. From the field, 1 of 7 rather. And just another, even though she's not over from the field, another Lady Demon that's just struggled to connect from the field. It's been the theme of the game thus far.
Northwestern State closed the first half on a 3-minute stretch without a field goal. They're shooting 10.3% from the field. Shelley with it. Goes inside, out to White. A high arcing three is short. And Ayers rebounds it. Now to Woodson. Lady Demons off and running here. And now it's poked away. Here comes White, and it's a charge. Ayers steps up to take a charge. White is hit with her second personal foul.
I mean, White with just such active hands. We've seen that so many times through a game and a half now, including that exhibition from Darian White, but trying to push the pace a little bit too much. Nice job by Ayers to shut off that sideline, not giving her an opportunity to try and get around her because there were 2 defenders right there. But the active hands from Darian White are just so quick, and you can't even blink before she's harassing you defensively, and she comes up with multiple steals.
Ayers hands it up. Miljanik, a little bit clogged up on this side of the floor. Miljanik comes to the left side. Drives in against Potts, and Potts blocks it out of bounds.
See, that's a situation where Miljanik has to look to kick it out, because when you drive and you've got nothing there, you're not going to get a good shot up, and that is a prime example as it's blocked out of bounds. But you have a couple of people wide open when you drive, and Solea was wide open in the corner. Look to kick if you're driving and nothing is there, just like this.
And Nisley this time rejects Miljanik. Nebraska gets the basketball back. Shelley is fouled. And she'll go to the free throw line. First free throw attempts of the day coming here for Janice Shelley. As re-entering the game, Hardison and the center, Jordan Todd.
Feels like Jess Shelley has a pretty quiet 10 points here this afternoon. She's 4 of 8 from the field, 2 of 4 from 3 in 19 minutes. It's been her, Markowski, and White who are the 3 leading scorers. It's kind of who you expected, but this doesn't feel like a normal now 11 points from Jess Shelley. It's just kind of creeping up on you in that total.
Shelley, 76% at the free throw line last year. She goes 2 of 2 to begin the 2023-24 season. Hardison across half court, facing the double team. It's loose on the court. Hardison regains possession, tries to get back up, and we have a jump ball. So the third of the third quarter. Basketball will stay here with the Lady Demons.
And somebody's got to come up and help, too, if you're getting double teamed right at that half court line. We talked about it earlier in the corner. the baseline and the sideline acts like those extra defenders, and then you get that over here. Once you get across half court, that's an extra defender, so it's almost like a triple team. Somebody's got to come over and try and help.
Woodson in trouble. Hardison has it on the court. Now she regains her dribble, gets it back to Woodson. The three-pointer around and out. She's 0 of 7. Hake coming the other way for Nebraska. Back outside to Nisley. Catch and shoot 3. Can't connect. Potts, the offensive board. Out to Hake. This is a deep one. Got it. And Hake is 3 of 3 from beyond the arc.
And she's had a nice day shooting, and you see it there from Nebraska. Once they get inside, they look to kick, and you had multiple good opportunities from 3, and Hake makes it pay off.
Here's an answer, or an attempt to answer there for Northwestern State in the left corner from Saleha. She's way long. Hake out to Shelley. Shelley will try a 3. No good. Todd the rebound.
Shelley's been letting them fly here in the second half. Shooter with a ton of confidence came into today with 161 made threes in her Nebraska career. That's 6th all-time in program history.
Inside, there's a block for Nisley. And Shelley comes out with it, flips it up ahead. There's Potts underneath, and she traveled. Good pass, though, from Shelley to even fit that into Potts.
Yeah, it was a great look up to Potts. When she let it go, I was like, I don't know where this is going, but all of a sudden Potts was able to snag it behind the defense. So a good look from Shelley, and we've seen a couple of really nice passes from Jazz Shelley over her Husker career. You can add that to the list, even though it doesn't result in a bucket.
Dixon and Dean in for Northwestern State. Dean with the basketball here. Now she gives it to Hardison. And on the right side, Hardison draws a foul. Hake picks it up. And in comes Natalie Potts. Rather, Petrie in for Potts.
It's a good opportunity to get Petrie a lot of playing time here. From Gold Coast, Australia. She was able to join the team over the summer in their Greece trip, and she played pretty well.
Dean, stolen away by Shelley. Open hoop. Shelley up with the left hand. No, but a foul.
Well, speaking of Australians, too, Jazz Shelley, obviously the fan favorite here in Lincoln, sprinting up the court to give her a good opportunity. But the funny thing about Petrie is, too, you think of Jazz Shelley, you think of Izzy Bourne. She kind of continues that Australian pipeline, which you wouldn't really think of, that Nebraska and Australia would kind of have that connection with this women's basketball program, but they certainly do. And Amy Williams expects big things out of Petrie here. She's, played on the FIBA national team for Australia for 3 seasons rather. She averaged over 6 points a game for them and played almost 15 minutes a game for them as well. So a lot of good things expected for Petrie, and we'll see if she can continue that Australian pipeline that this program is able to build up so well over the past 5-6 years.
Shelley goes 2 for 2. And that stretches Nebraska's lead to 44. Newly into the game here is Naiza Irvin. Now to Ayers. Hounded by a couple of Huskers. Down low to Dixon. Turnaround jump shot off the front of the rim and rolls in. White looking to push the pace. Quickly to the left wing, it's Nisley. Her 3 is short. White in position to get an offensive rebound. She's going to try to go back up with it. Takes it back out to Hake. Hake, bad pass and a kickball.
This is starting to feel a lot like that second quarter against Dakota Wesleyan. A lot of threes being taken from this Nebraska team. And that just shows how good this Nebraska defense has been here today and how much the Lady Demons have really struggled from the field.
Nebraska with the basketball. 10 on the shot clock here for Hake, White, and company. White, jump pass out to Nisley in the corner. She misses it short. Dixon rebounds it for Northwestern State.
That's already the 10th 3 taken by the Huskers in this quarter alone. They've only made 2 of them.
Dean handles the basketball. Goes to Irvin on the left wing. She's double teamed. Trying to get rid of it. Does so to Dixon. Dean guarded by White. Now Nisley after the screen. Hands it off to Todd with 5 on the shot clock. The pass is deflected. Ayers comes up with it. Less than 5 now. Got to get a shot up here if you're Northwestern State. Ayers goes to the rack. The floater is missed, and Markowski rebounds the basketball. Now to Hake in transition. Back up top to Markowski, looking at a high-low with Petrie. And the freshman is hit with a 3-second violation.
Yeah, that'll happen. True freshman trying to get some real game action here. And she actually played a pretty decent amount of time here. That's 7 minutes already, and she's got 3 points and 1 of 2 shooting. But, that's going to happen. Freshman mistakes. Everybody talks about them. And there's a handful of freshmen on this Nebraska team that can get some valuable experience here today with the score being such a big deficit for Northwestern State. And we saw a lot of them get a lot of playing time in that exhibition game against Dakota Wesleyan as well.
Annika Stewart into the game. She checks in for Markowski. 3 out from Irvin is way short. Todd picks up the offensive rebound, and she draws the foul as well as she was starting to fall out of bounds there. Nebraska, one of its last 9 from the floor, has not made a basket in the last 3 minutes and 17 seconds of game action. Todd hangs it back to Dean. To Ayers in the left corner. Dean with 10 on the shot clock comes inside. Nice step back move. She lost White, but left the layup short.
It was a really nice kind of stop on a dime right there, but she just wasn't able to convert.
Wide open, it's Hake. And you can't leave her alone like that in the corner. She knocks it down from three-point land.
It continues to be perfect from out there. 4 for 4. Hake with an impressive shooting performance here today. 4 for 5 overall from the field in just 12 minutes.
She's guarding Irvin here. Irvin lost the basketball, but it falls into the lap of Todd. Now Dean, long 2, got it. So Dean up to 4 points. Back to Hake, who just hit the 3. Pick and roll with Stewart. Well defended. Now Petrie fakes the pass inside and draws the blocking foul. So Petrie will go to the free throw line.
Yeah, for Jordan Todd, that's unfortunate because she was within the restricted area. If she's outside of that, she may have an argument for taking a charge there, but too far inside the restricted area underneath the basket, and Petrie will have a chance for 2 shots.
Todd checks out. She's got 3 personal fouls. Petrie to the charity stripe. Misses the first. Only starter out on the floor right now for Nebraska is Darian White, who has 9 points, 9 rebounds, 3 assists, and 3 steals. Irvin, after a battle for the board, comes up with it and gets it up to Dean. Now she'll get a screen at the top of the key from Dixon. Now she's guarded by Stewart, gives it to Ayers, had a look at 3, chose not to take it. Instead, she makes the extra pass, and Woodson connects from the right corner.
You felt like it was only a matter of time before she was going to knock down a bucket. That's her first make in 8 attempts now. And you kind of went gambling through the passing lane. Logan Nisley did, so your rotation was just kind of one off, and Woodson was left wide open in the corner, and she makes him pay.
59-19 as a host of Huskers come back in. Jazz Shelley, Kendall Coley, Kendall Moriarty, and Natalie Potts. Inbound to Stewart. She'll just launch a 3, and from way downtown, she hits.
She loves that top of the key 3. She's so good at that shot, too. Really opens up the offense, as I said earlier today. Only shot 26% from 3 last year, but seems like she's been much improved over the offseason.
Dean, she just missed the layup. Coley the rebound. Now it's Shelley. Inside to Stewart. Stewart to get to double figures, and she leaves it short. Ayers across half court. And now we have whistles and a timeout taken here by Northwestern State. So it's 62-19, 109 left here in the third quarter. Nebraska's been able to rotate a number of different bodies into this game.
Yeah, they played 10 players here this afternoon, and only one of them has played single-digit minutes, and that's Petrie, and she's played 9 minutes. So the fact that Amy Williams can use this depth, especially this early in the year, when you're kind of banged up, obviously Maddie Kroll, we mentioned earlier in the game, she's out with a foot injury for a couple of weeks. She was a consistent starter last year as Northwestern State knocks down the 3. But it's important to find her replacement for now because she's one who started 24 of Nebraska's 25 last games last year.
Woodson sinks her second consecutive bucket from downtown, and Nebraska beats the zone there with Stewart. We saw, of course, Northwestern State beat Nebraska's zone on the other side.
Just feeding it inside to Stewart again. She's been really active in the second half, 9 points in just 13 minutes. But they've been feeding her a lot. We mentioned Izzy Bourne about the Australian connection to Nebraska. Well, she was also a huge part of this program while she was a player here. So finding that replacement in the post as well is going to go a long way. Not to mention Maggie Mendelson will join the team in a playing capacity later this year because she plays volleyball, as many Husker fans know. So she will be able to play after that season concludes in about mid-December to give you a little bit more depth at that post position.
Stewart into double figures with that last free throw make. She's up to 11 with the second. Nebraska, just sort of a soft full court man. Now Woodson up top to Irvin, who hands it off. Trouble with the exchange there to Ayers. Woodson again. Against Shelley. Pull up Jay. No. And Stewart the rebound. So Woodson can't quite go 3 for 3.
Yeah, even though Woodson missed that shot, it seems like she's gaining back that confidence offensively.
8 seconds left in the quarter, and that's an easy bucket there for Natalie Potts, and a pass whipped in there by Jen Shelley. And that'll do it. Huskers won that game 70-57. Amy Williams, current head coach of the Huskers, played 1 minute off the bench in that game.
It's kind of a fun little tie that this matchup and that matchup has. Amy Williams appearing in now both of them, and well, Nebraska looks like they're well on their way to 2-0.
Missed 3 by Potts. And a foul on the floor.
He's back in the Devaney Center, that first overall meeting. Should say only meeting.
Well, and it's not the only Nebraska-Northwestern State connection. Of course, legendary Nebraska baseball head coach and the current head coach at Arkansas, Dave Van Horn. He was the head coach at Northwestern State from 1995 to 1997. His assistant, one of his assistants, was Rob Childress, who is now Nebraska's pitching coach, stepping into that position again this year. Moriarty off the inbound, lays it up and in. Kendall Coley the assist.
Fantastic set. I mean, Coley cut to the middle, or excuse me, Coley with a nice pass inside as there was a cut to the middle. And that just left Moriarty wide open.
So Leia on the right elbow, pivoting around there. Potts just takes it away. Ripped it out of her hands as Saleha held it over her head. And a travel there from Jazz Shelley.
Yeah, I think she knew it right away. She's kind of laughing about it. If you're Saleha on this end, too, you cannot leave the ball up here. That leaves it so vulnerable to defenders, and Potts showed you why right there. She was just able to take it right out of her hands. If you're going to pivot around, you got to bring that ball down and protect it. That's something that Northwestern State has struggled a lot with today, and that's a result of a lot of their turnovers.
Here comes Woodson. 19 turnovers for Northwestern State after having 11 in the first quarter. Almost another one there. Ayers gets away, and an open look at 3 is off the right side of the rim. Now Shelley. Here's Stewart. Quick 3. This time way too strong. And a foul.
Yeah, she's not afraid to let him fly from way out there at the top of the key. She loves that area to shoot threes from. A good contest from Jordan Todd. I think made her force it a little bit too far. Tried to bank it in, but a little bit too much strength behind that shot.
Woodson across half court. And now another ball poked out by Potts. She's trying to chase it down on top of it, and it'll be Demon basketball.
Well, you see the bench get up, especially Amy Williams as well. As a freshman, that is how you earn more minutes. A ball tipped into the backcourt. It could be an over the back. She could just let it roll out of bounds, but instead Potts hustling all the way, diving on the floor. Although it didn't go to the Huskers, that is a hustle play that will give you minutes no matter where you play, no matter what year you are. Coaches absolutely love to see that type of effort, and Natalie Potts just gave it right there.
15 of those minutes tonight from Natalie Potts, the two-time Missouri High School Player of the Year. Led her high school Incarnate Word Academy to 3 consecutive state championships.
Potts, just as you mentioned, a phenomenal high school player. We said it earlier. Ended her high school career on a 100-game win streak. Her record in high school, 117-4. And that is just absolutely phenomenal. You see people who play professionally who don't have that good of a record in high school.
Inbound to Dean. Looking around to try to find someone to get the basketball to, and Callan Hake gets her hands in the passing lane. She's off and running, up with the left hand, no good, it's short. Jazz Shelley the rebound, throws it back. Who else? Natalie Potts.
I was going to say, of course, right place, right time, Natalie Potts, but she's been able to put herself in those good positions, not giving up on plays, and she gets rewarded for it.
Potts up to 8 points. Moriarty rebounds the miss. Alexis Markowski set to check in. Hake with the basketball for Nebraska. And now we have an offensive foul. We've had several of those moving picks called today. Markowski in for Nebraska. Back in for Northwestern State is Irvin. 5'10" junior from Newark. Here comes Woodson. Nebraska leading by 48. Irvin to the corner. Dean with a good ball fake. Drives underneath. Hands it back off. She gets it back, falls to the floor, and it'll be a chance for one more at the free throw line for Dean.
Yeah, Dean goes tumbling there. Jazz Shelley can't really believe that she was called for a foul there.
And neither can the crowd.
Everybody on the Nebraska bench is calling for a flop. But instead it will be a foul on Jazz Shelley, and we play on.
So Northwestern State with the basketball. Markowski pokes it away. Nebraska still maintaining that high level of intensity on the defensive end of the floor. Northwestern State 8 of 45. Ayers, and now we have a whistle and a foul against Nebraska as again Carmela Dean takes a hard tumble.
Yeah, it's 2 of them now in 3 possessions, and Brad Maxey and Mark Berger are going to get together and talk about it because Nebraska was adamant that it was a flop on the first one. And now this is the second time in this game where both teams are going to be sent to their benches, and they're going to go over to the scores table and look at this decision.
Officials signaling for a timeout. Both teams back to their benches. As the
it could be a little bit of
discuss.
frustration as well from this Northwestern State team, just trying to get something to go their way. And you kind of see it on the face of Dean after she took that second tumble. She's like, well, come on, I'm getting harassed out here, whether you think it was a flop or not. She's hit the deck twice in two out of 3 possessions, so probably a little bit frustrated about that.
For about 2 to 3 minutes here, Grant Hansen alongside Connor Clark here on Big Ten Plus.
The only thing that I could think of that they're looking at is the extension of that arm from Natalie Potts. Maybe they think there's a flagrant aspect to that because this is kind of just like the Darian White call where there's a wild arm going somewhere. Now, she didn't hit her in the face, but it looks like it was more so of a push from Potts trying to get through that screen from Dean. So it'll be interesting to see what they come up with here, but it's that extension of the arm that is certainly what they have to be looking at the replay monitor.
So the officials relaying the result of the call to each of the head coaches. We should be pretty close to resuming here.
Nebraska's been out of the huddle here for a little bit now, and Northwestern State does the same. They're going to call a common foul on Natalie Potts, so they don't see anything flagrant about it. It's just going to be a foul as any other one would be for Natalie Potts as she tried to run through the screen, and Dean will have a chance at the free throw line.
So with 5 fouls against Nebraska, Northwestern State into the bonus with a healthy amount of this fourth quarter left. The team is 5 of 7 at the line. First one from Dean rolls in. 70% at the free throw line last season. Missed the second. Potts the rebound.
I mean, you would think this is a 3-point game based off of the noise that you hear on that free throw attempt. All the middle schoolers sticking around. It's been a fun atmosphere here at PBA on a Monday afternoon.
Lob it in there to Markowski. She's fouled. Second there against Northwestern State. So Markowski,
one thing I will say about
5 of 5 at the line, will go.
One thing I will say about Northwestern State, and especially one of their leaders, Giselle Woodson, even though she hasn't had a great game offensively, especially, she's been struggling from the field, just 2 for 10. I feel like she embodies a lot of those leadership qualities that this Northwestern State team is going to need. The body language has been really, really good throughout this game despite being down a large margin. She's been picking up her teammates, giving them advice throughout the entirety of the game. I've been really impressed with that aspect of Giselle Woodson. She seems like a very valuable character for this squad.
Skip pass from Irvin, got an open look for Ayers. Nice effort there from Todd to try to save it and throw it off a Nebraska player, but Shelley recovers. That leads to an open look from Moriarty. She airballs it long. Then Markowski goes over the top of Dean, and Dean. That looks like that'll be a foul there.
Well, it's 72-25, and you still got bodies flying on the ground. That's when you know that these two teams are competitive, and even Alexis Markowski, who's a junior now and a starter for all 3 years, she's even getting on the floor in a 72-25 game. So that shows a lot of what this team is standing for and a lot of the qualities that Amy Williams instills in this group.
2 fouls now against Markowski. Free throw shooter will be Dean, who has 7 points. That is a team high. Now 8. 15 of Northwestern State's 26 points have come off the bench. Potts, Hake, Moriarty, Markowski, and Shelley out there for Nebraska. Moriarty into Markowski, inside out to Shelley. And Shelley draws the foul from Woodson.
It's a nifty little rip-through move from Jazz Shelley. Anytime somebody reaches in, you could just, if you're talented enough at it and have the timing down, just do that rip-through, and every single time you'll get that foul call.
Inbound there to Potts. Gives it up for Hake. Markowski at the free throw line. The high-low taken away. Instead, it goes out to Jazz Shelley, and she hits it from downtown.
You knew that was going up right away. Immediately a double team on Markowski. She's got to turn, and oh, wait, Jazz Shelley's wide open at the top of the key. Of course, she's going to shoot that 3, and she knocks it down.
Woodson, she'll try to answer. She hits. Shelley with the team leading 17 points for Nebraska. Woodson and Dean tied with 9 apiece for Northwestern State. Markowski down low on the right block. Tough shot, no. Natalie Potts on the other end. That doesn't go. Urban rebounds. Woodson gives it back to Dean. Trying to get a screen pat there. And Dean flips to the left corner. Ayers wide open. Long. She's missed a couple long from that corner. Up ahead. Great
goodness.
pass from Hake and a better finish from Potts.
Absolute beauty of a pass from Hake. She's had a phenomenal afternoon. 12 points to go along with that beauty of an assist.
47-point Husker lead. Halfway through the fourth, and there's a takeaway for Nebraska. Markowski steals it, but she puts it too far ahead for Hake, and it's a turnover for Nebraska. Woodson gets to reset it for Northwestern State. Ayers pivoting around, nearly stolen by Hake, and Hake will get the foul. So more free throws coming here for Dean. As another
Feels
unit.
like Dean's been the victim of the foul, of every foul in this quarter. Every now and then you look up and she's on the floor, but she'll get another chance at the free throw line.
So on the floor now for Nebraska, Moriarty, Petrie, Nisley, Annika Stewart, and Darian White, as Coach Williams comes up with some different lineups here for Nebraska. Dean rolls in the first free throw.
And now's the time to experiment with those lineups. Throw some freshmen in with some freshmen. You also have Darian White out there to help kind of navigate things, along with Kendall Moriarty, who's the junior.
White running the point. Gives to Moriarty, now Petrie, back to White. Trying to feed it inside to Stewart. They get it to her. Stewart goes too long. Dixon has trouble corralling the rebound, but it falls to Urban. Dean, good drive from Dean in transition. She gets the layup. 13 for her.
Again, even though this team is down big, it seems like they're gaining confidence offensively. This is their highest scoring quarter of the afternoon at 12 points. There's still 4 minutes left to play.
Inside to Petrie, she's fouled. Well, you mentioned that, but Northwestern State outscoring Nebraska in the quarter 12-11 here. After being
all of a
bested.
sudden, Dean with a nice fast break. Woodson seen some buckets go down as well. I mean, those are the guys that you're going to need for this Northwestern State team down the stretch. I mean, Woodson, 8 points per game scorer. We haven't really seen much out of Ayers, also an 8-point per game scorer. Dean only averaged 2 last year, but now with losing a ton of production from a season ago, it seems like she's going to have a much elevated role with this squad here in 2023-2024.
4 minutes left in this one. First free throw in from Petrie. She's got 4. Nebraska leads it by 44. Second free throw up and in. Like Woodson wanted to catch it on the run there. She'll cross half court. Hand it to Ayers. Ayers keeps it herself, goes all the way in against Stewart and draws the contact. So she'll get some free throws. Plenty in this period for each team.
It'll be Ayers' first trip to the free throw line here today. Just 1 for 10 for the field, 1 of 7 from downtown. She's been living on that three-point line offensively. See if she can get her shot back here.
This will be the 11th, as Ayers knocks the first down, and 12th combined free throw attempts for these two teams in the quarter. That one misses. Stewart rebounds it for Nebraska, and White will hand it off here to Nisley. She doesn't have any doubts about that one as she knocks it down from the right wing. No hesitation.
I think she was surprised that she was that wide open. She kind of looked back over at Kendall Moriarty and gave her the big eyes. Like, really, was I that open? It was almost too easy, but she knocks down the wide open 3.
Irwin trying to get a back cut there to Ayers. Scoop shot layup is blocked. Ayers just avoids the end line and then draws another foul. Nisley for Nebraska just made her first three-pointer. She's 1 of 7. on the afternoon. Her only field goal attempts have been three-pointers as Kendall Moriarty goes to the bench. Kendall Coley comes in. So Nebraska going a little bit taller here with Coley, Stewart, and Petrie all on the floor. All of those players are over 6 foot as Ayers misses the free throw. Second one, no good. Short as well. Petrie rebounds for Nebraska, gives it up to Coley.
It's kind of funny. You mentioned the height about this lineup for Nebraska. It's 6 feet players and plus all over the floor. And then you have your point guard, Darian White, who's 5'6", who's running the show.
And she has a really sweet scoop shot layup there with the left hand. That gets her into double figures with 11 points. And it's also her first bucket of the second half. 2:35 to go. Nebraska leads at 84-35. Ayers going to the rack against Petrie, and she draws another foul. So 10 for Nebraska here in the fourth quarter alone.
Maybe Williams not too happy about that foul call. She wasn't very happy about the one on Annika Stewart just a couple moments ago. A little bit of frustration boiling over from the Husker head coach. Been a lot of opportunities for the Lady Demons from the free throw line in this quarter, as you said earlier.
Ayers makes the first. She's got 5 points and is now 3 of 6 at the free throw line. Isley on the left wing. Left elbow. Coley the jumper. She missed it short. Rebound after a delay. Brought in by Saleha. Oh, Petrie almost came up with the steal. Ayers, she'll try a three-pointer. Got it. 84-40.
Now
Up
2
ahead.
for 8 from beyond the arc.
Out to Nisley. Her three. No. Petrie the rebound, and she is fouled. Guilty party there. Jordan Todd.
It seems like Todd's trying to get back into the swing of things, and we talked about her injury earlier. Only played 3 games last year. She did play in the final 2 regular season games and the lone game in the conference tournament, so she had playing time to end that year, but still trying to get that full season under her belt. You see the brace on her left knee as well as a result of that injury, so it may take her a couple of games to get back into the full swing of game play, which will certainly be important for this Lady Demons squad.
Petrie sinks the first free throw. Todd just fouled out there. 2 players have fouled out for Northwestern State. Second free throw up and in. 86-40.
She mentioned, too, Jordan Todd was a 2-time Conference Player of the Week in 21-22.
Nebraska's led the whole way. Started this one out up 16-0 as Ayers goes to the rack, and man, she's having herself a fourth quarter. Another bucket there. Ayers now with 8 points in the period, and a whistle and another foul with 1:38 to go.
Yeah, she's playing with a lot more confidence than she was in that first half. You blink, and now she's already up to 11 because of those 8 points in this quarter. Only had 3 before that. She's knocked down a 3, had a nice take right there to the bucket, has been to the free throw line a couple of times.
16 fouls in this quarter. That is the most in any quarter of this game thus far. So plenty of free throw practice for both of these teams as Nebraska pushes its lead to 46. Woodson guarded by White. 14 on the shot clock. Woodson still trying to get some space here. Now she'll get a screen with 5 seconds on the shot clock. She's going to go baseline. Good burst. Elevates. Hangs. Can't finish. Got her own rebound, but it was blocked by Coley. Now it's Nisley. Whips it to the right side. White didn't take a three-pointer. Pulls up a nice kind of hybrid floater jump shot there at the free throw line goes.
Nice little runner there from Darian White. Yeah, you mentioned kind of a mixture between a pull-up jumper and a floater, but whatever works for Darian White. Good Husker debut for her. She's up to 13 points, and she's well on her way with the rest of her team for win number 1 in this new college basketball season.
Ayers, good hedge there defensively, and Stewart was able to force what was a deep three. She gets the rebound. The shot clock is off. Nebraska will not have to shoot it here and will likely just dribble it out. 90-42. Nebraska dominated this one from the jump as the final seconds tick off and the Huskers go to 1-0. Next up for Nebraska, it is a trip to Wyoming. A 7:30 tip. The Huskers beat the Cowboys.
Music by Music Network.
चल के बाद बंदे के
भोला समय पे सेम भमिया तोहार सिर्फ संडे के बुझो जी अब करे हमर इंतजार पिसन संडे के सुन
recording studio, Simra.